Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Up and Adams, wherever you may be watching, whether it's YouTube, FanDuel TV, FanDuel Sports and Network, Twitter, where we post a million clips a day to give you the best content possible in this never-ending NFL season. It is happening. It just started. Happy New Year. I don't know that I've seen you guys since. I was at Players Championship, which, by the way, is not over and still going on today. I would like our producers in the control room as I sit in my kitchen to keep tabs on Rory McIlroy and what's going on, as I'm now a golf feet girl. Rory won this morning. I didn't know. I love that. Do we love that for him? Is he liked? He stole the guy's phone. Do we like Rory, guys? You guys let me know. At Up and Adam Show, we know that we love Dan Orlovsky. He's one of the best in the biz. Truly an honor to have him on the show to break things down. Aaron Rodgers on the beach with the blanket. He does it all for ESPN. We'll talk to him about NFL action, and he's a UConn guy, so we'll get into that as well. We have two-time Super Bowl champion and newly signed Saints safety Justin dropping by the program today to talk about his move. And Tahj Brooks, the leading rusher in Texas Tech football history, joins us as he's getting set for this journey that ends next month over some cheese curds, which I'm guessing Dan Orlovsky doesn't like. And Monday morning, lots to dig into, but we're just going to start it off with a bang this week. So much to get to: March Madness, NFL draft stuff. So excited to have Dan Orlovsky and Tahj Brooks of Texas Tech fame on the show. But we welcome in maybe one of our more memorable friends, a kind of guy who's like, yeah, win or loss, I'm going to show up the next day on the Up and Adam show and tell you what happened and how it went. And I'm going to start with Justin Reid, a two-time Super Bowl champion. Big congrats in order, because Friday we made it official. You, Metairie, Saints. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I'm really excited about how the situation unfolded. Free agency is always so crazy because you never know where things are going to end up, but it ended up working out in a really great way.
Loved seeing you signing. You got a new baby. That must feel absolutely amazing. There for all of the family parts of this journey that you're on. Do you know that the Saints are like my OG fave team? Do you understand how happy I am?
No, I didn't know that. Yeah, what's the story behind it?
I think when they, back when Sean Payton was there, they had this defense. I forget what year, 2017, I think, and they were crushing and nobody wanted to talk about them. And I love them.
Yeah.
And they were celebrating on defense in the end zone. And I was like, what the F is this? I love this. And then I just sort of fell in love with the city and the vibes. I mean, you've got some real tone setters on that defense, right? You've got your Cams, you've got your pedigree, and Tyrann Mathieu, who I know that you know. You, my friend, are a tone setter. When I look at you and think of you, that's what you are. Who are you most excited to play with that's sort of on your level in that area?
Yeah, I pride myself on that. I say it all the time. Like if when I want the game to start on Monday when the opposing guys turn on the tape. I want them to see how vicious me and my teammates all will be and not allow them to get over anything easy. So excited about playing with T5 again, our second stint around playing together. So we already have some chemistry built. Mario Davis, I mean, this guy has been certified for a long time, as well as the whole defensive front. We got dogs up front, man, that chase the passer. And it's a good situation to be in. Playing for the city, there's no feeling like it. I mean, I grew up playing and watching the Saints, so I'm excited to finally be able to strap on the pads, that gold and black, and go out and do something.
Justin, you just nailed it. You get to come home. Like, I saw that you said that you've gotten over 1,500 text messages sort of dapping you up and congratulating
Yeah.
you. Is there one text that stuck out the most?
You know what? It's probably the text from my parents and siblings chat. Because I was keeping them abreast of what was going on as free agency was happening. It's like, okay, this team's in the mix, having conversations with this team, was talking about 7 or 8 of them. And then late in the conversation, the Saints come in. So I let them know, hey, the Saints have entered the conversation. And then that whole chat just started blowing up. Do it, Saints, Saints. And then, yeah, so feeling the love of that and get to be close to some family, you can't beat that.
You are a product, Justin, of Dutchtown High School, and about an hour, as I understand it, outside of New Orleans. So go Griffins, first of all. We have some footage that we dug up. The
Yeah,
last time you
the throwback
played
tape.
home games in Louisiana, talk to me about this version of Justin. Is this what the the Saints are going to get? Tell me about what you would say to this kid.
Yeah, this kid, I mean, this guy was just attacking everything. One of my favorite plays from high school. I used to destroy slants, man. Every slant that I seen in high school, I used to kill him. Have kids getting up slowly. But that same ferociousness, that same physicality, bringing all that and just a whole lot more ball knowledge and smarts to the game.
You used to kill slants. I just love hearing you talk about all of that. You seem super happy. I can tell you're settled. It's always like a kind of a crap process. Do you enjoy like what is it like going through that? And then you having to put out lists of teams and like you're sort of treated. I imagine it reminds you of maybe like combine and just entering the NFL in a weird way of just being
Yeah,
picked apart in the business side. Like, what is that like? I would die.
yeah. It's pretty much similar to that. Like combine. I mean, it's you don't know what's going to happen next. Things happen so quickly that you have to be prepared for anything. Like I said, had conversations with 4 or 5 teams. I had no conversations with the Saints. It seems like the team that I never have a conversation with is a team that I always sign with. Back when I got drafted, didn't interview with the Texans, signed with the Texans. Chiefs came in late, my first time in free agency, and the Saints came in late with this one. And then yeah, it's fun because it's exciting, but it's also can get pretty nerve-wracking too when you're just sitting there and you don't know what's going to happen next, where you're going
Yeah.
to go. But once the ink dries and you have a sense of direction at least on what's going to happen next, that's when you can really start feeling like, okay, I can get back to work. I have some goals. I know what the situation is, and we can start getting the business.
Well, congratulations to you on an incredible deal back home, loving all of it. I was watching your press conference this morning and you said Saints, even though you didn't meet with them, the Titans and the Eagles, like those were teams that you liked, that you were talking to, whatever. Justin, when I saw this CJ trade, I thought it was a wrap. I'm like,
Yeah,
up, there's Justin Reid. He's heading to Philly. You
yeah,
were trending on Twitter. I
yeah.
literally was like, I was golfing or something. I was like, no, it's all done. How close were you to that, which would have been
Pretty close
crazy?
actually. Pretty
Really?
close, just because me and the defensive back coach there have a really good relationship. The defensive system was the same defensive system that I ran at Stanford, so that whole Vic Fangio system, I know it pretty well, and the conversations were pretty intense. The only drawback was they were just so limited in cap space that we couldn't make a deal that made sense. But the situation, the conversation was happening.
You could have gone there and switched sides and tried to repeat a Super Bowl berth with them. That would have been crazy. Chiefs fans would have lost their mind.
Yeah, well, I still believe we can still get that done in New Orleans. I
Ooh.
mean, it never matters what situation you jump into. We have so much firepower, so many weapons in Louisiana, and it
Yeah.
feels like we're building like the all-star team. You know, you build an all-star team, you get to pick your legs, you at recess, you pick your guys. We're just
Yeah.
picking Louisiana's best and bringing them all home, and we're gonna go and see what we can do.
You faced Kellen Moore's offenses a bunch over the past years. Super Bowl twice when he was with the Chargers back in 2023. We did our homework this morning, Justin. How did all of the film study that you have done and the homework you've done weigh into your decision?
Yeah. Well, familiar with them. He's familiar with me. I think that they have a good plan in place. I had a call with Coach Staley talking about how they envision using me in the system, and it's exciting because it's dynamic. We're going to create a ton of pressure, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So exciting opportunity. Flew down, got the sign, got to meet with all the coaches. Vibes are really high, and just yeah, it's a hell of an opportunity.
Cam Jordan's got to be so excited that you're like, I want to win a Super Bowl and bring it here. You've got some guys. I mean, and it is there's a pressure in New Orleans to get it done and to get it done for the Demario Davises, for yourself, of course. You've won two pressures off a little bit there, but it's a team that has these potential future Hall of Famers. Like it's a team
Yeah,
that I would love to see them get that ring. You're going to help them and you're going to bring the tone setting. You're going to bring the physicality that you're known for. What
yeah.
about the kicking? What about the kicking game, Justin? Talk
Hey,
talk
listen,
turkey to me.
we
Come
are
on.
going to be so team first. I'm hoping that we just bring the final pieces in, the final stones and Thanos's, glove to get this thing rolling. But we're going to be so team first, and I hope to bring that spirit that
What does
whatever the
that mean?
team
Because
needs,
Taysom's out
whatever
there
the
doing
team needs.
whatever he
Hey,
wants.
Yeah, we need Kalen to go play running back. He's going to go play running back at 300 pounds. You need me to kick off. I'm going to go kick off. Whatever the team asks us to do to put us in the best situation to do, we need guys to buy into that process and make it happen. So, hope to
Yeah.
bring a flavor of that and hope to bring a ton of wins to the city and go out and do things that we can be proud of.
What do you call Tyrann Mathieu? What's your nickname for him?
Oh, T5.
T5?
Yeah.
What role did he have in you going to the Saints? Was he texting? I can't decide if I think he was quiet and let it happen or if he was recruiting you actively.
Yeah, well, a little bit of both. Me and Tyler already had. I mean, our families are so close. My father and his uncle, they go down to New Orleans every year to go do some of the festivities and festivals
Mm.
that's down there. So we've always stayed in contact, and he's been one hell of a leader. To this day, he gives the best pregame speeches and hype speeches that I've ever heard in my life. So knowing that I had a partner that I can trust and already had chemistry, they play a role in it.
When you put out those three names, I mean, you sort of you came in, Matthew from back then. You sort of took his gig. You guys have stayed close. I love hearing that. I love feeling like you already have built-in family, getting settled into a different place. That's home for you, which is great. Chiefs fans wanted you back, my friend. Like
Yeah.
really, like I think Chiefs fans were, and I think fans don't understand the business side of it maybe as much. Not that they don't understand, but emotions get in the way, as I'm sure they do as a player too when you're going through this process. But there were a lot of fans, and some of them are my family, that are like, why didn't the Chiefs make that final three? Those teams that we're talking about, the Philly, the Saints,
Well,
the
this
Titans.
is yeah. Well, this is, and they were in a conversation too. I was also texting Coach Spags and OBC
Okay.
Coach Merritt the whole time along the process to see if something could be worked out. But the only constant thing in this business is change. That's the only thing that's ever the same year to year is that things always change. And I don't think that it was from a lack of want to on either side, but rather just a product of the situation and what
Mm.
salary cap space was available and what moves was the emphasis of the offseason to go out and make.
When did you know that it wasn't an option to go back with the Chiefs? Like after Super Bowl, before Super Bowl?
No, probably early that second day of free agency. I was actually trying to wait.
Oh.
Yeah, I was trying to wait to buy time to see if we can get something worked out. And then, cards unfolded and it just didn't work out, and then you have to end up making the next best decision for yourself. And that's why I ended up choosing the Saints.
How do you feel about that? What would you like to tell Chiefs fans right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's always all love. There's no animosity, there's no hate. I've never had a bad relationship with any of the teams that I played for. I still love the Texans, I still love the Chiefs, I still love the cities in both of those places because, it's not something to be personal about. Like the NFL is a business at the end of the day, and if you approach it as such, then you don't get your feelings hurt. So to all the Chiefs fans out there, I still love you. Still so proud of the things I was able to do with you the last 3 years. I mean, it's one hell of a journey, it's an incredible run, and I'll still be cheering you guys on from afar. Unless we're
Since
playing on this,
2023, you've racked up
yeah,
the most
playing on the same
tackles.
field.
Yeah, the most TFLs, most tackles since 2023, most PBUs that you've had over a 2-year stretch. I can't wait for you to bring that, of course, to New Orleans. Can we talk a little bit about the Super Bowl?
Sure. Yeah, that's also
I
part of
think
it.
it's 36. What do you mean?
Talking about both the highs and lows of what happens in games. So
36 days ago. To me, it feels like it was 6 months ago. What does it feel like to you? And what is your sort of relationship with how you've processed that from then until from
yeah,
now
it's
until
it. Yeah, I'm with you. It feels like it was such a long time ago. I mean, it feels like, I mean, I can't believe it's only been a little over a month. It feels way longer than that. But I'm very consistent about the process that I go through. And I have a 48-hour rule, regardless of win, loss, draw. And, you got 48 hours to be in your feelings about it. You got 48 hours to celebrate, whatever it is. And then, you just put your head back down and you get back to work and start working on, continuing to maintain the level of play that you're at. So, for me, everything is always about the process. I believe if you work your process and you believe in your process, you stay consistent with your process,
Mhm.
then whatever the results are, you can always be proud of the work that you put out on the field. And despite the result, I wish we could have, made history, got three in a row. But still, to even get to that opportunity, still get to that stage and have that opportunity to do that is something to be extremely proud of. And I'm proud of what the whole team did to get there, and I'm proud of what I did to help the team get there. And then you take a moment to digest that, and then you start just planning for what's next.
All the greats have that 48-hour, 24-hour night after rule where you have to sort of compartmentalize and put it behind you. But also those losses, and Tom Brady has said it. I've had Kevin Durant on the show say it, like, losses shape you, they change you.
Yeah.
How did this loss change or affect you?
Yeah. Well, it's harder to learn something from wins. I mean, you always try and watch the tape, but it truly is life's greatest teacher. Sometimes it's failure because you're able to think critically about what you could have done better to have a different result in the end. So yeah, that's just what it is. You just got to keep on building, and you think about the process leading up to the game. You think about how we could start faster and just have an emphasis on starting faster in the games and not put yourself in a situation where you have to dig yourself out of such a deep hole.
Is that the thing? Like when you look back at it now, 36 days later, are you just, if you were to narrow it down, all the things that, not that you would change or that you, what did it come down to? Is it accurate that starting fast would have been the thing?
Yeah, I think that would have made a tremendous impact. They jumped on us. They just jumped out so quickly. And then once the bleeding stopped, it was hard to stop it and turn momentum. Wanted to come out and have an explosive play in the second half. And, credit to them. They played one hell of a football game. And they were, I mean, frankly, dominant in the game from the first three quarters. So, yeah, it stung. But, in some ways, you respect an opponent that comes out and plays that hard.
I love that. I like your mentality, Justin, and I like you're fiery when you're out there. You do things all the right ways, in my opinion, as far as hand and compartmentalizing and then being thoughtful about it. And what I also love is that you are so freaking involved in the community. You are hosting your second annual celebrity golf tournament, June 23rd. It is at Blue Hills Country Club. It's in Kansas City, the place where you won 2 Super Bowls, the place where you lost one, the place that you have all the love. What do we need to know?
Yeah, June 23rd, second annual event. I mean, the first event was such a knockout of the park. Had a bunch of celebrity guests pull up to it, guys in WWE, the NFL, the UFC. I mean, we have a whole bunch of cats, actors, friends of mine that have all come in and supported, and you get to pair everyone up in a group with one of these characters, and it was just such a blast. It's a tremendous success, and looking forward to doing it again. And also in next year's iteration, bringing this tournament also to New Orleans.
The J. Reid Indeed Foundation. They equip and fund youth and community initiatives for those underfunded and unrepresented neighborhoods that really need the resources. So go to jreidindeed, very cute.com to donate. You can become a sponsor. You can sponsor a hole. Maybe Giovanna can talk to me. Maybe Up and Adams can sponsor a hole.
Yeah, we need to get you down there. You need to be
listen,
one of the
I'm a
guests to
golf
come
girl
out and
now. I
play.
would
You'll be
love
one
to
of
go
our
down
all
there.
stars.
Justin, say less. I'll be there. We're going to take a TV break. We are going to be live on YouTube. I just want to talk to you a little bit through that, but we'll be right back on Up and Adams with Dan Orlovsky of ESPN. We will have Tahj Brooks on the program as well. We'll be back. Justin, when I see Jamar Chase get this deal, I think of you. I think of you.
Are you seeing Jamar Chase? Oh, yeah. Well,
Would you like to say
I think they're
congratulations?
doing. I mean, yeah. I mean, he earned it. The guy is dominant. I think they're going to have to get creative how they're going to solve their defensive problem that they had last year. Spending, I don't even know, is it 170 million on or 120 million? I think on their top three players.
They're trying to make it work
So
with Trey Hendrickson, but I just want you to know that I'm very happy for you about the Saints, but you don't get to, like, there's no way that you face them this year. You could face the Bengals in 2026. I'm
yeah,
that sick that I went and I looked that up. But
yeah. No,
I'm
I
gonna
looked it
get
up. I looked it
robbed.
up the
I'm
same
gonna
day
get
that I signed,
robbed
and I
of
was
the
like,
tuna cans. I'm like, you and Jamar don't get to face each other this year.
that's okay. We'll just save it up for next year. And it's just
Did
we'll
you say
just
that you
you put things in a pressure pot. And sometimes you just let it simmer and cook a little while, and what you get on the other side is a little bit better.
did you say you looked it up? You did.
Well, yeah, actually, I was saying that for the Chiefs, but
Oh.
same deal, same deal. The rotation of how the games work out. I think there's an opportunity to play them both of these teams next year, depending on how seeding lands.
2026. Yeah. Is there a
Yeah.
receiver that you can get me excited about in this division that you love and hate facing? Who's the new Jamar?
Um, there's only one Jamar. But
No, don't make Justin Jefferson jealous here. I feel like you're giving a lot of credit to Jamar.
No. I was saying about the fieriness of like
Yeah.
how much I want to crush him.
Mike Evans, right? Give me some, like maybe that. Maybe it's Mike
Yeah,
Evans.
Mike Evans, but like I would say Mike Evans, but like I don't know, like when I play so many other receivers around the league, it's like I don't know, it's not as personal. Like it's also not personal with Jamar, but sometimes it feels good. It always feels good.
If you
But like the
saw
other guys,
Jamar,
like
in
you
LA,
hit them and then you
would
just
you
kind of
guys,
move on.
if you saw Jamar in LA on the street, you're walking down Melrose, are you say, is it like love or do you ignore each other? What happens?
No, I'd be curious.
Great.
I wouldn't like, oh yeah, I would say hello, but like I wouldn't overdo the conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Celebrity golf tournament. Congratulations on the contract, on everything. I will talk to your amazing representation about getting the, or at least sponsoring a hole. How about that? Just know
Love
that I
that.
don't have
Hey, we'll take it
3 years at, a bajillion dollars like you. So don't, you're the best, Jay Reid.
Hey, golf is the best equalizer though.
Oh, there we go. Are we back on the air? Oh, I don't know. We didn't. That's just how TV works. You know where this doesn't happen? ESPN, where you don't know when you're on the air. Right? Dan Orlovsky, co-host of NFL Live, who is joining us, ESPN NFL analyst and really analyst of all things, especially Drake, music, feuds, all of that, Dan.
Yeah. I don't know about all that, and certainly there's been plenty of times, Kay, where we have gone to live TV and completely unaware of it. So sometimes it's you're caught up in the moment. You know how it is. Sometimes it's laziness.
Yeah, we're coming kitchen to kitchen here. Action. Dan, great friend of mine. So happy for all of your success and more to come. And congrats to UConn. 8 seed in the West. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to pretend. I got to say, this Dan Hurley gentleman seems a
Love
little
him.
wild. Tell me about him.
He's a maniac. So us UConn people love Hurley. So, there was really high expectations for UConn going into this season. Probably not real because they're back-to-back national titles. And my wife said something to me the other day. She's like, man, UConn, disappointing that they didn't even get to the championship in reference to the loss to Creighton the other night and not make it to the Big East title. I was like, babe, they had 2 kids get drafted, I think, in the top 10 in both Stefan Castle and Donovan Clingan. And then their 2 kind of guards last year were just great college basketball players. One of them's playing decent minutes for the Grizzlies. So like 4 big time players left. So it wasn't real to think that they were going to repeat it. But for like my generation of UConn, we grew up with Jim Calhoun. Like we watched Jim Calhoun be an absolute, it's intense. There's an intense personality on the sideline that you love. And it's one of the reasons why UConn has had the basketball success. And when Hurley came and obviously has rebuilt it to one of the premier basketball programs in the country, again, if not the premier, I mean, it's the same stuff. He's on the sideline, just absolutely
I like it.
Bringing in. Yeah, he's awesome. I love him. I love him.
Dan, who is the Dan Hurley of the NFL in terms of coaches? Is it like a little Sirianni or is that not okay to say? Who is it?
Yes, there's a little bit of Sirianni there for sure, just with the kind of the brash, in your face at times personality. Maybe Sean Payton from years ago. Sean's maybe mellowed out just a little bit. I'm trying to think if there's an NFL coach that's a little bit more intense on the sidelines. I got to go by division. That's how my mind goes. So AFC East, no one really stands out. AFC West, no one stands out.
LaFleur, if he's facing the Lions,
Yeah, maybe. LaFleur, if he's facing the Bears.
Here we go.
Because of some of the comments.
Yes.
But yeah, I think there's a decent amount of coaches that are pretty good with that.
Yeah, you said the three-peat thing. So the Chiefs couldn't do it. You just heard from Justin Reid. They couldn't start quick. They got, he said demolish, the bleeding
Yeah.
stop. That's Justin Reid, a two-time Super Bowl champ, saying that. I was at Players Championship this weekend. Scheffler couldn't get it done, three-peat. Why can UConn three-peat? And it's been done before. I looked it up. UCLA did it in the 70s.
I think UConn can. It's a long shot. I don't feel confident about it. They right now, I think the difference with their basketball team the past 2 seasons and this year is two things, in my opinion. One, last year they always had someone to just control the game, and it was really their guards, like Cam Spencer or Newton would just control the game. No matter what the vibe of the game was, they could just figure out a way to control it, settle down, get us into our offense. And I think the second thing is very rarely, if ever, did they take bad, selfish shots. They do that a lot more this year. And I think one is attached to two. So that would have to be something that would have to change. Their bracket's pretty tough. I think their first game versus OU is pretty tough. So I'm not banking on it. The SEC is absolutely, I think the SEC is probably a better basketball conference than football conference this year. So it's an uphill climb for this year. The past 2 years, they were the favorites. They're not so at all this year.
They're the 8 seed, everybody. They got 9 seed Oklahoma Friday, and clip this off and send it and tag it to them, guys. So then Dan Hurley can put Dan Orlovsky in a headlock and play this.
I'll get a text, I'm sure.
Dan doesn't believe in you, UConn. He doesn't believe in you.
There you go.
Okay. I've tried tap dancing around this enough. We have to talk about Aaron Rodgers. I tried holding off as much as I could. I know you've got your fill of him over there at the world leader, ESPN. Pop up the picture of him. So it's Malibu. It's his personal beach. He's got a blanket over him. How the Paps get this is how does he not see somebody with a camera there? Is my first question. Secondly, you're a quarterback. You know the position. You know this cat in and out. What is he mulling over? What is he thinking?
Well, one, if he's going to play again, it's not going to anywhere. You want to go to a place that I don't think Aaron wants to end his career the way that it has over the last 24 months. An all-time great that has had the mindset that he's had doesn't want to go out that way, in my opinion. So out of the teams that have 0 to 100, 5 to 100% interest in him, who are those teams? And is it worth the commitment from the player perspective or his perspective to go there? Because you don't want to just go. I don't think he wants to just go to a place just to keep playing. He wants to go to a place that, one, can win and believe in that. And then two, he can play to the level that he wants to play at. And he knows he needs the support to do that. And at least you hear conversations that the desire for him is Minnesota. That's the starting point for him. And now Minnesota is thinking about it. I have been outspoken. If I was Minnesota or in that building, I would not do that. There's nothing negative against Aaron. I just feel that once Minnesota let Sam Darnold walk out of their building, they made a clear line of demarcation. We are moving forward with J.J. McCarthy. And I think that's the right decision. Do I think if Aaron goes there, he would play well? I think a lot of quarterbacks that go to Minnesota would play well. But I think just in that moment, Minnesota, let's go to the future. And if not Minnesota, I would imagine he's planning for, well, if Minnesota comes to him and says no, then is it Pittsburgh? And does he want to go to Pittsburgh? Does he think he can play well in Pittsburgh? Does he think they can win in Pittsburgh? And one of the things, Kay, that hasn't been talked about enough, in my opinion, by a lot of people is Aaron has run the same offense for the most part for, let's call it 10 years, if not 20. Minnesota's offense is very different than the one that he's at least been in comfort-wise. He's not a guy that loves a ton of motion, or he at least hasn't done it a lot lately. He's not a guy that loves a ton of different formations. And that's something that is the backbone of Minnesota. So, does he want to go to a Minnesota or a Pittsburgh knowing you're going to run very different schemes and probably some language that he hasn't done?
I'm trying to, I've heard everything you've said about him everywhere, all over ESPN, everywhere. And it's all like what the team should do, which is very responsible of you. But for me, I'm like, what would Aaron want to do? If you're Aaron, like, I understand what you're saying about scheme, but like Arthur Smith, Kevin O'Connell, like you're saying every quarterback. So he's got to want, I guess, to go to Minnesota. I'll ask you, like, J.J. McCarthy, who gives them, the only question I have if I am Minnesota is who gives me a better chance to win the Super Bowl in 2025? Is it J.J. McCarthy or Aaron Rodgers? What would your answer to that be?
It's probably Aaron Rodgers. but but it's not that black and white, Kay. One,
Yeah.
it is. I don't know what their cap situation is right now, but I know they've spent a lot of money in the last week. So, does that mean that they can't add another player or two that they want to, add? I don't know. I got to check into that a little bit. Two, do I think Aaron can do it one time?
I'm asking Hamilton, Dan. He's on it. They have
Ham, what's up,
32
bud?
mil. 32
So
mil.
th-
Ham, you can pop
that's
on.
probably enough to afford him, would be my guess. But is it Aaron that you get? You're not going to get 20 weeks of that Aaron. It is what it is. The age is what it is. So I don't think you're going to get that 20 weeks. Now, do you need it? Probably not. We just don't really know what JJ is.
I know, but that's why you got to get Aaron. Like, I think I know
but the pushback I would say to you is this. What message are you sending to McCarthy?
I don't know if I care, because I just want to win a Super Bowl, and like the idea of like the pride of like, we took this guy, we maybe made the wrong choice, or the injury. We don't know, like, we don't know what he is. So if you have a chance to get Aaron, you can't let that stop you, I guess, if you have this window. And we haven't seen JJ play in a game yet in the NFL. And I think the team does have a lot of confidence in him, but I don't know. My message would be, hey, Mahomes sitting behind Alex Smith wasn't that dumb of an idea.
Right,
Aaron Rodgers sitting behind Brett.
Sure, I mean, Patrick sat
idea.
for a year. I mean, I think if you're yes, you want to go to Minnesota if you're Aaron, but if you're Minnesota, do you think that JJ McCarthy in 7-8 months from now is going to play really good football? Because if you think he's going to play really good football, then again, I don't think you bring, and this is, I hope people don't take the comment, Aaron, you're bringing in Aaron Rodgers. That's a big deal. You're not just bringing in a really good quarterback. You're bringing in Aaron Rodgers. And so everybody in your building needs to be on board with that. Everybody, your owner, your GM, the people in your front office, your head coach. And if you're Kevin O'Connell, you just bring up his name. And I would say, what happens if Aaron doesn't want to run your stuff that much? What happens if he doesn't want a ton of motions and shifts? Are you willing to adjust in that regard? Because then I would say that's taken away your superpower.
It's a great call. I don't know. That's good. Who gives? Yeah. Who could take, which team could he take further with where they are? Like Steelers, I understand what you're saying about scheme, but he's going to go do what he wants anyway. So like Arthur Smith, good luck. Would he get along with Tomlin better than would get along with Kevin O'Connell in that division? Which team could he take further? Who's got the better defense? Like, these are things. Which team between the Steelers and the Vikings? I know he's got an offer from the Giants.
Minnesota, better roster.
He could take them further.
I think so. Minnesota's a better roster. Okay, if I just went down to 32 quarterbacks in the NFL, I would tell you 26 of them would go to Minnesota and play pretty darn good football. I mean, you have the three things needed: scheme and play caller, great offensive line, great perimeter talent. So a lot of quarterbacks are going to play well there. Do I think that Aaron, obviously because of the way he played at the back end of last year, and then his background speaks to, this is a guy that we can go really far with? Yes. But that doesn't mean JJ's not that guy either. But only their building knows that. Like, only their building knows that. Just because you can with Aaron, or you think you can with Aaron, doesn't mean you can't with JJ McCarthy.
It's true. It's just funny because he's like on the beach trying to figure it out. He's got these two offers. And of course, Aaron, probably because he's not getting it from Minnesota, wants it from Minnesota. And then if he doesn't get it, is he retiring? I can't imagine. He'll go to the Steelers.
I think he goes to Pittsburgh. I think if he doesn't go to Minnesota, and honestly, I would imagine Minnesota right now, it's a very real conversation for them. And they're probably legit, kind of like what we see in movies at times, sitting around in a room all talking about, it's not just football. Like, is everybody on board with this? I think if it doesn't come from Minnesota, then Pittsburgh has to be a very real option for him. You don't have to be the guy that has to go change the building, change the culture, which is expected to in New York. You get to go just play quarterback. It's TJ Watt's team. It's Cam Hayward's team. It's Minka Fitzpatrick's team. You don't have to go and be the everything. You just have to go play really good quarterback. I think because of the receivers, you can. And because of the defense, that's a good unit. You can win a lot of games. And I mean,
Yeah.
they could compete. I would put them in that second tier in the AFC if he went.
Oof. Oof. We'll see what shakes out. I know you have to go. I don't know. We just talked about Aaron Rodgers. I do want to ask you, speaking of AFC and AFC North, even in that division, what I love about you, maybe more than anything in this past year, is you've just been my Bengals guy. You know, you've been Bengals, Joe Burrow. I love seeing it. They get this
Dog.
big deal done. It's the news of the day.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sick of it. I'm happy they kept T. I thought that would never happen. We knew Jamar
Yeah.
would get paid. Now they have to fix the defense. They might pull it off with Trey Hendrickson. Are you willing, my friend, to even ahead of the draft tell me that the Bengals will be back ruling the North this year?
I'm never betting against Joe Burrow. I'm just not. I'll ride with Joe Burrow and Jamar. I was shocked that they got him done. Honestly, I was the two receivers. I'm floored. And everyone said, oh, there's so much pressure on Joe Burrow now. He's Joe Burrow, guys. You don't think he's widely aware of the pressure that he has? He transferred to LSU. Yeah, I think he understands what pressure is. There's no more added pressure. You know, and I put this out, Kay, this morning because we'll see if they get Trey done. I don't think that we'll see. And I said their front office better become great at identifying, developing, and drafting. Everyone's like, yeah. And Howie Roseman did it. What people don't realize is 7 out of the 11 starters for Philly's defense last year were on first year deals. 7 out of 11 starters. And the 8th guy was Zach Bond, who was signed for like $1 million. So 8 out of your 11 guys essentially on the number 1 defense in the NFL are on first year contracts. That's how you could pay quarterback and 2 wide receivers and still be successful. That's kind of what the Bengals front office needs to try and model.
Yeah, you don't seem very confident in the Trey Hendrickson deal getting done, which makes me itchy and very nervous. So I'm just we'll leave it there.
I've heard
What?
Positive thoughts.
Oh.
I've heard positive thoughts, but I don't know. But I've heard positive thoughts, but it still doesn't make sense to my brain.
Okay. Yeah, me neither. I know you have to go. Can we do a blind ranking of food before you go quickly?
Of course. I got time. You're good.
Your food takes are legendary, Dan Orlovsky.
Okay.
They're on my algorithm. What? You said okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
I know you as the guy who eats, a box of Choco Tacos with me back in the day, which I love. We're going to have you blind rank some foods 1 through 5. So spaghetti with ketchup, where are you putting that 1 through 5? You love ketchup, apparently.
Oh, I fry the spaghetti. What I do is it's like day-old spaghetti or noodles, and I just like fry it in butter. I don't do this that often because, I try to eat a little cleaner, but I would put this at a 4.
A 4.
And then
okay.
I put ketchup on it. Yeah.
How about just a milk chocolate? Just regular, what could you possibly have against milk chocolate, Dan?
It's boring. Milk chocolate is like, I'm going to put it at 3, but I want to put it at 5, but I'll put it at 3 for now. But I just don't, it's not worth my time, not worth the calories.
That's insane. How about these new, speaking of calories, Rice Krispies treats, ice cream sandwich, viral everywhere right now. Okay.
Put them at a 6. Not touching them. Not touching them.
Why? Are you unhinged? Why?
Why would I eat that?
Because it's delicious.
Homemade Rice Krispie treats are so much better.
Sure.
Like taste-wise. 2, I'm a chocolate person, so I like a traditional ice cream sandwich.
They do have the chocolate Rice Krispies treat, but I'm not even going to bring that up. How about this? In honor of St. Patrick's Day, Lucky Charms.
Not touching it. I'd put it at a 6 or a 7. I'm a Cracklin' Oat Bran cereal person. Cracklin' Oat Bran, maybe some Frosted Flakes. I'm also a soggy cereal person.
I heard you're a soggy cereal person. Also a cereal killer in my book here. And you're going to, obviously ESPN's all over the coverage for the draft. It's in Green Bay. Cheese curds, where would you slot them?
If I'm in Wisconsin, 1. I had cheese curds when I went on a golf trip to Wisconsin for the first time in my life. Up to we went to Erin Hills and Whistling Straits, and I had cheese curds for the first time, and I was like, these are the greatest things ever. 1 runaway 1.
Runaway. Runaway 1 is really hard to say. And it's why you do what you do on the biggest stage that there is. Dan, you are so incredible. A joy to watch. I always get smarter watching your Cam Ward thing this morning. I was like, yes, teach me. It's like taking a USB port from your brain into mine every time I watch. So, one of the biggest bummers of my career is when you chose to go to ESPN over staying at Good Morning Football with me, because I would have died to have been your teammate. But wishing you luck with everything. Can't wait to see what happens next. And thanks for the time.
Oh, thank you. I feel the same way about you. And you never know. We'll see what the future holds, whatnot. We can do something. You never know. A lot of
So
time
cryptic, and I love it for you. You're going to get everything that you deserve because you are so hardworking and amazing. ESPN NFL analyst, co-host of NFL Live, Dan Orlovsky. Thank you.
Thanks, Kay.
Thanks. We'll be back after this on Up at Adams. We have Tahj Brooks on the program. We'll get even smarter about the draft. I promise. We're going to talk to him. A little Texas Tech action. Texas Tech, by the way, in the bracket. You know what I was putting on this
in the bracket.
Laundry day here at the Adams household. And I grabbed this. This is a Lewandowski, not signed, but I have a signed one that I won't wear. The old school Bayern Munich thing. And I'm pulling things out of my closet. And I have two, and these are the ones that they were by. I have this Hufanga.
Oh, wow.
And then I have this Hufanga. And I thought I'd bring them down because it's so wild how
Double
things
Hufangas.
change. Yeah. I mean, two
Yeah.
Hufangas don't make a right, you know? Now on a different, got poached. Weird that I'll have to get Hufanga. I need the Denver one. You got to get me the updated
Gotta
Denver
get the
one.
Broncos on now.
Dan with these cryptic things coming out.
Very cryptic.
I don't know what he wants. I don't know what's happening, but remember when he was on Good Morning Football?
Oh, I do. He was, he was doing quarterback breakdowns every single week for
This
us
is like
and
fresh
crushing
out
it.
the league, too. This is like,
Yeah.
he was awesome. It was when Nate was
Still
leaving,
is.
right? It was when Nate had
No,
left.
it was before.
Really?
No, it was before. Yeah, we were still in CBS in those old studios, and
No way.
yeah,
Interesting.
and
I
a little bit
I
of
wanna
Times
say this.
Square. He was coming into Times Square.
I want to say this. I'll fill out a bracket. I'll do all of that. I've got a couple like, you're probably like, why are you paying attention to this year? Because I've got a couple high value brackets that I'm involved in that got roped into. Some super, I'm into it. I watched this selection show for the first time in my life. I know I'm going to get killed for that because it's like sacred. It was such a good, easy watch. I didn't know what to expect, but
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to have you can't poke holes in the product. Let's get right to it. 20 seconds in, I know it's Florida. They were just moving right along. They gave like the perfect little amount of analysis. I loved it. And then they make the committee sort of face the music, which was kind of fun. It was really enjoyable. A 10 out of 10 as a first time watcher of the selection show process. Big fan.
yeah, it really is the best one. It gives you everything you need. You get the drama, you get the information quickly, you get a little bit of just enough.
Yeah. Okay, do we have Tahj Brooks? I think we do. Let's do this. Big thanks to Dan Orlovsky of ESPN. Big thanks to Justin Reid, two-time Super Bowl champion. Let's welcome in our next guest. We're trying to get smart about the draft. Texas Tech's all-time leading rusher is here. 2023 All Big 12 first team selection. Hey, this is very long. Tahj Brooks, could you have more accolades? All Big 12 second team selection, four-time academic All Big 12 first team selection. Tahj, you have it all going on.
Yes, ma'am, I do. But it's all a blessing at the same time. It's crazy. Just the season we had and all the accolades that I did. It's a blessing. So
It is a blessing. You have this journey. I like that you have a positive vibe about it. Let's talk about that record. I'd be excited too if I racked up 4,560 rush yards. In my career as a Red Raider, you did that. You break a record in doing that stood for 30 years. Older than you are, way older than you are. What does leaving Texas Tech at the top of the record books mean to Tahj Brooks?
It means a lot. It means a lot from my family perspective. My parents wanted me to do something that has never been done, like I said, and I feel like I fulfilled the role. You know what I mean? And then just putting Lovey back on the map, putting Texas Tech back on the map in the rushing boards, and it means a lot to me. And it's really just it's a blessing for first and foremost.
I love it. You got good company there with Patrick Mahomes with some of those records and all of that. So great school, great experience. Talk me through this. I always like to pick a play. You have this crazy 3-touchdown game. You know it probably like the back of your hand. West Virginia, it was in December. Can you just talk me through this one, the 37-yard touchdown run?
Oh, for sure. So right here, we got an inside run called, and my guard, I'm pressing the A gap as much as I can, and I make the cutback against my guard, and just after that, just making guys miss and breaking tackles and just getting into the end zone, just not going down by one person, and that's just part of my game, and I love that play actually.
Why do you love this play?
Just the finish, it was a finish mentality, and then just a breaking a long run, and then exposing guys on defense and what they're not feeling and things like that. So that's why I really love that run. So.
See, I love it because you have everything an NFL fan could want. The burst, the way you attack the hole, and then the way you not only get your balance back, but you're able to truck a defender after a stumble. That's what I love about it.
Thank you. For sure.
You're
Like
welcome.
that's one of my little positives within my game. So I like it a lot.
Okay, I love that. What else do NFL fans need to know about you? Something that maybe doesn't get talked about. Let's hype that up.
For sure. That I'm a pass pro guy. I take pass pro very seriously. Any quarterback that I've had, I don't like when they get hit. I love that about, just my pass pro ability, and then just catching the ball at the backfield. That's one thing that's very slept on, like unknown about me and things like that. Just running routes out the backfield and doing the little things that way. So I feel like NFL teams should know that I can be a every down back and just do good things out the backfield within catching the ball and things like that. So.
And something, do you just get on like a heater sometimes? Because these 3-touchdown games, you had 3 of those. In 2024, you scored 18 total touchdowns. What is that?
It's just when I'm hot, I'm hot. Like you can see it. I think every game this year I had over 100 yards. So it's like when I'm hot and the torch is going, it's gonna keep going. It's not gonna never stop. You know what I mean? It's just about me being consistent and just knowing going in the game, just believing in myself and having a true positive within myself. So.
Pass pro, hitting the hole, balance, getting hot and staying hot. You also led the FBS in forced missed tackles in 2023 with 98. What is it? And you had over 150 missed tackles the last 2 seasons. What makes you so hard to bring down?
Just the mentality I have. I have the mentality of one person not tackling me. It gotta take more than one person to tackle me, and that's just something just growing. I always just just always just thought about, and just really just growing up with my family and things, just always taught lessons. Just if you want to play running back, you got to be able to make guys miss, and that's something I do very well.
Make guys miss and protect your quarterback. I think all 32 were like, please, I'd like him. He wants to protect me and make sure I don't get hit. That's great. You're also the captain. I think that's really important, right? Like who you are as a human, what you stand for, what you can do in a locker room. It's all super important. You were captain just for 1 season too, right? You were captain for your last 2 seasons as a Red Raider. How would you describe your leadership style?
To be truly honest, I'm not a rah-rah guy. I'm a guy that's leadership out positive energy. I'm gonna bring guys up when they're down, and I'm gonna just whenever guys want to ask questions to me, I'm gonna be at their role, just be at their service. I'm a guy that's gonna come in and smile with every day on his face, and a guy that's gonna encourage at part of when the times come and when the times needed. So I feel like that's just my leadership role and just how I am as a leader.
Do you know where I want you to go in the NFL? Do you want to hear?
Where?
I want you to go to the Commanders.
The Commanders? It's crazy. Actually,
what?
Old teammate that I played ball with in college, Tyler Owens, safety. Yeah, I played ball with him last year. So yeah, it's a great guy.
So. What do you make of the team? A little Cliff, a little Texas Tech connection there. I can't imagine he hasn't had Tahj. He hasn't had his eyes on you a little bit closer. But I think protecting Jaden sounds really nice. The more you're talking, the versatility. You'd be very fun in that offense, my friend.
I will be. I feel like it's a great offense, especially just watching them this past in the playoffs, and just very explosive. And then just the Texas Tech tree. Cliff Kingsbury, Anthony Lynn, those guys. I haven't met them in person, but I know they're great guys and great coaches as well. So,
you haven't talked to Cliff?
Maybe. No, I haven't. I haven't got the chance to talk to him.
You haven't seen him in person?
No, it's crazy. I haven't, but because when he left Tech, my head coach was Matt Wells, and that was his tenure. And then and then after Matt Wells got let go, it was Joey McGuire, and then that's really my guys and who I've been with. So.
I like the Texas Tech tree. A lot of great guys. A lot of, you got your Wes Welkers, you got receivers. I'd like to see, the running back sort of make his way to the NFL and make a big impact. Selection Sunday was yesterday, by the way. I was watching your Raiders men's basketball team, a 3 seed. You got to be happy about that. How do you feel about this team and how far they can go?
They're gonna go as far as they can. I've been watching them every time, and they've been, especially Darren Williams and Chance McMillan and all those guys. They've been balling, so I can't wait to see what they do in the tournament.
People are going to connect you with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and all of that. How do you feel about that?
I love it. You know what I mean? It's a guy it's great at football. Especially he came back when my tenure at Texas Tech. He came back and talked to us, and he just talked about just the little things he did in college and how he got to where he's at now. So I love it. I met him one time in person. Seemed like a very cool, genuine guy, man, and a guy that loves football. So I can't wait to meet him again.
What was his biggest message? Take me into when he came down and talked to you guys. What did you really take away from that?
Biggest message was really just us just honing in on the details within summer workouts and within, if you're in a building, stay in the building. When you're outside the building, go have fun and just, take away time away from football. But when you're in the building, it's just straight work. It's straight work, trying to get better with your brother. So that's what he basically brought in and taught us.
I feel like I already know wherever you go, be it Washington, Kansas City, wherever, it's where you're supposed to go. But I can already see this, all of the fantasy football, you're going to win people weeks. You're just going to have the 3 touchdown game. 2 weeks later, the 3 touch. I can just see it for you already. I need to know which one of these celebration moves you're going to break out first in the NFL. I think my producer Tiara found these on TikTok. What are you going with first, Tahj?
So it's me and my girlfriend. So I don't know. It's probably the bowling ball. But I'm actually probably bring out my Brooks time celebration, which you can't forget about that one. And y'all don't
Show
have
me
it,
that
though.
one. Show me that one.
You got it to your wrist, and you just point to your wrist like it's my time.
Easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring out that celebration too. Yeah, there
Love
we go.
that.
There we go.
So nice to meet you. Enjoy the draft process. And I believe Pro Day starts tomorrow, all that action. So go kick ass,
Yes.
do your celebrations, show everybody who you are, and good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Tahj Brooks can do it all. Nice to meet you. We'll be cheering for you. We'll be back after this right here on Up and Adams. It was fun. What did he call it, Ham? Tahj time? I wish I knew.
Yeah.
What did he say
Tahj
it was?
time.
Tahj time's good. Tahj time's great. It's Tahj time.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude, 3 games of 3 touchdowns is bananas.
Yeah. He's a lot of fun. He is. We were talking a little bit before the show. I see a little I don't love player comparisons. They're not my favorite, but I see some Kyron Williams in him, in that ability to just do it all. Excellent pass protection, the finishing at the goal line. Like, he's going to be a fun player in fantasy football
You
next
can't
year,
take him down. Even that touchdown we showed, he's got such balance. I'm a big fan. I can't, forgive me because I'm not a college girl. Like, I'm trying to think of the other Texas Tech. Is there a running back that came out of Texas Tech that I would know? Or is he going to, like, lead the way and be that guy? Michael Crabtree, Wes Welker, Danny Amendola, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, because kind of like you alluded to, they've all been about the passing game. Texas Tech has been about the passing game for 30 years. That's been their bread and butter with Cliff and Graham Harrell and all those guys. And now he was the guy that kind of put the running game on the map. Yeah. But that air raid offense, the times have changed, and he kind of put that running game on the map last
He's never met Cliff. I call absolute BS that they have not been chatting. I think he answered that very wisely.
Anthony Lynn, too.
I forgot about Anthony. I love Anthony Lynn. I love Anthony Lynn.
Yeah. So there's some smoke there.
Does that make sense within the draft? I don't know enough.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think so. I could definitely see that happening.
I just want to say also, just like the everyone's like, you're not saying anything about the Bengals. I'm just exasperated by it. Like, I'm happy, but like, it should have got like good. Now what's next?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly. And the thing that's just irritating to me this morning is all the people that were like, oh, they're not going to pay them. They're not going to open up the checkbook. Here we go again. And now that they paid them, it's, oh, you can't pay 2 receivers all that money. What are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
people are just going to whine just to whine, and it's frustrating.
I think no matter what, and these big splashes and this whole thing, they're still going to be, the Bengals are going to be still somehow the most slept on AFC team going into next year. People forget.
Yeah.
What? Not on this show. What? Oh, yeah. All right, we love FanDuel. In this tournament season, we're giving you the power to take control of your bets. Introducing the Bet Back token. Oh, this is a game changer, okay? It lets you bail on any bet that's not going your way. What? And it turns it into bonus bets. Huh? It's kind of simple. If one of your bets is headed the wrong direction, you're not feeling it, go to your My Bet section on the app, tap the token, and you can get your stake back immediately in bonus bets just like that. And right now for the tourney, we're giving all customers a Bet Back token. So thank you, FanDuel. You can download the app to grab yours today on America's #1 sportsbook. And Matthew Hamilton, why I love this is because some of us in the world have commitment issues, you know? And so to be able to have this sort of magic eraser, shout out to Mr. Clean, this sounds brilliant. This is a gift from the FanDuel gods, and thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this is a dream come true, because now you can feel a little better about taking those swings on, you know, some of those hunches you get at tourney time. I think we're going to see a big upset here, and then when they're down by 30 points at halftime, you can just take it right back. This is perfect.
I don't know who came up with this, but it's the Bet Back token. So it lets you bail on any bet that's not going your way. And like I said, you use it, you kind of claim it, and then it turns it into bonus bets. This is incredible. Although I would like double jinx reverse Uno myself, and I would take it back, and then it would end up happening. So there's also that to think about. Don't get too cute with it. Who do we have on tomorrow's show? Oh my gosh, we don't have guests. Bye.